Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's June 1st, 2025. We are in the Old Testament book of Proverbs, and we are going to read Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1 to verse 7. Who wrote the Proverbs? Well, we don't know. They're anonymous, but they're usually credited to Solomon, King Solomon, David's son, who is famous for his wisdom in collecting wisdom and sayings and writing them down. So we think this is where this came from. Now, what are Proverbs? They're just little snippets. They're not necessarily full-blown commands. They're not necessarily full-blown ideas. They're little snippets to help us apply the rest of the Bible to our lives. So as Christians, how do I do what the Bible tells me? Proverbs usually has an answer for that. They're Hebrew poetry, so usually it's a line of text and then a second line. And what we're supposed to do to get our wisdom is to look at how that second line and that first line, whether they contradict or contrast, and that's usually how we get our deeper understanding out of it. Like I said, not full-blown commands. So a lot of times you'll see a proverb that says, hey, in this situation do this, but in this situation do something else. So we can't get a full-blown command out of that. And as we progress, that'll maybe be a little more apparent as we go. For a long time, it's that two-line formula of comparing and contrasting the second line to the first line. Some of them are actually full-blown parables and stories, especially as we get to the end of them. These little pericopes, I don't know if I can get up close with that, the little headings that start off each of our little sections. Those kind of group them together. They're not necessarily always grouped that way, but that's one way to look at your Proverbs and see how they work together. It's usually something along the lines of an older, wiser person giving advice to a younger person, or maybe someone new to the faith, or someone old to the faith and reinforcing things that they should know and remember. Again, I keep coming back to they're not full-blown commands, but they're touching on truths, God's truths. So that's a little bit different. You think of the modern proverb, secular proverb, a penny saved is a penny earned. Okay, that's some wise, good advice, but it really has nothing to do with God. Our proverbs are all going to be touching God and the divine, and again, how we as Christians should be living if we're really led by God. Again, not full commands. If you've got cross references, those should get you to the point of what that proverb is touching on, the bigger, longer lesson that's in the rest of your Bible. All right, that was a big, long preamble. So let's get into it. Let's read some Proverbs. What exactly are they? Well, Proverbs, interestingly enough, is going to tell us right here in the beginning of knowledge. And it gives us that proverb to start with, and that's must be a really important proverb to grasp. So let's go ahead and we're going to start the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 1 to verse 7. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and an enigma, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. May God bless the reading of his word, and may God bless you. Bye.